Hello, beautiful people. Thanks for joining. I'm here with Tina from the Aftermath. Thanks for joining
Hello.
us.
Hi, everyone.
How are you, Tina?
I'm good. I'm really good. How can you not be when we watch William and Catherine absolutely smashing it?
Yes. Isn't that amazing?
Oh, you know what? I never ever thought that I would feel a kind of way about watching William being received in Singapore the way he did, in the way he was, and it's just been incredible. Oh, it's a story.
You feel like, yeah, we're going to talk about that. I feel like a proud aunt, City,
Exactly.
you know, and I did a video today because I was comparing, I'm sorry, but City's here and she's being very needy.
Yes.
So yeah, but it's amazing, I was watching that because I was looking into, for example, Harry and Meghan going on Vegas. It is quite the thing. I think he knows the gig is up with Meghan Markle. What do you think?
Do you know what? Watching William in how he was received in Singapore, then having that comparison of watching Harry sat in an audience watching Katy Perry. Bear in mind, we all sat and tuned in and watched Katy Perry perform at his dad's coronation concert, and
Yeah.
I just think he looks miserable. And the thing is, the problem is here because we watched Harry and William, like the Truman Show. It has been like the Truman Show. We've watched them
Yeah,
grow up.
it has.
And we all have this connection to them. Like you said, you feel like a proud auntie, a proud mom. Like you literally, when William had that standing, just applaud in Singapore with the flags going, I reflect on Harry sat there looking miserable as sin. And I just think, I think at this point now, he's been born and bred all his life and watched everyone around him, the Queen, Diana, his mom, be out there serving with the people alongside them. And it weren't so long ago we watched Harry doing that, enjoying that naturally and happy. And there's no way he can be content with that unless he really is the Harry that we've seen just lately. And that has been hidden from us, But I think
What do you
the game's
think?
up. Pardon?
What do you think?
About what?
Do you think that they've lied to us and that's the real Harry?
I can't ignore the fact that, it starts off small with your friends and, his best friend wasn't even invited to the reception on the night. It starts small in the people in your circle that would question the actions of that person in your life. They start with the friends and then the family, they go one bigger. Then we hear in the spare about how you're no longer a spare and you're an hour man and that's why I love you. The emasculation. So I can't ignore those bits. I don't believe this side of him is completely him. I think there's a lot of manipulation and trauma state going on. My opinion, obviously, and how I perceive it to be. But at the same time, he is an entitled little prince who's lived a nice life, who wanted more. You don't do all what he's done, especially with the Queen and Philip, in the way that went down. In you be the best person in the world, can you? Like there's got to be a line of that in him where he's just entitled.
Yeah. And what do you think? Because Meghan Markle was not his type physically. We all have a type, whether we like it or not. We all have a type. At least I do. And I think most of us have a type.
Yeah.
Most of them have a type. At least I do. I don't know about you.
No, I did. Well, no. I think for me, I go on personality. I know that sounds really thing, but I genuinely do. I've had crushes like not your typical. If they make me laugh, more so. I think Meghan come along and she wasn't this one going, oh my God, a prince. And he mistook that for someone who wasn't who she is. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think that was different to him. But really, it was the arrogance in her, you know? I think it was the arrogance in her which got miscommunicated to him, like it was someone who didn't and wasn't shocked by his, she was questioning. He felt ashamed of her going to the Nottingham cottage. There's no denying that he's not very clever, is he? And then chucking the trauma state, I think, she was just someone, maybe. I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, for me, to tell you the truth, I think Harry has always been entitled. I mean, I don't know if I sent you the link with Ken Worf, where Harry would do whatever he wanted. He doesn't care. Even since he's a kid, he would ran the bicycle into people's kneecaps and stuff like that. Um, Princess Diana tried to take him on a bus tour, for them to take the bus, for them to see how people lived, or, other people came around. And she had to get off because Harry was being very racist towards the Pakistani driver, making fun of him in a very nasty way, you know.
No, I didn't
So,
know that.
yeah, she had to get him off the bus, and he was very young. She put them in. So that thing that he never went on the bus or stuff like that. No, she did make him take public transportation, those double deckers, and she had to get off. She first tried to chastise him, but he kept mocking the bus driver, and then he said really nasty words. So
Yeah.
she kind of smacked him and got off the bus and apologized to the driver.
Bloody hell. The thing is, I think there's the second child. There's always in any family dynamic, but when you've got one who's been born into this role to be king, I suppose there is always going to be that jealousy and that lashing out, but more of an excessive way when you're in so much opulence and privilege. This
Yeah,
is the
but this
real
is
Harry, guys. Don't be fooled by the victim narrative.
yeah,
I
but
get that. I get why people think that as well. But for me, growing up in abuse and seeing the red flags, bottom line is if Harry was a princess and he had done all this, there would be a layer of understanding of what's going on here. For all that he is, there is elements where we've seen a before and after of Harry. It may have been hidden. I know stuff was covered up by the royal family. It probably is still being now, but I can't ignore the elements of what I heard and what I read in his own book. When he's just had his daughter, his first daughter, he's not got contact with any of his family. That may have been a moment where he could have been weak, and she's turned around to him journaling in their skin to skin moments, in reminding him of that word despair. The only person who put spare into his head was his wife, in my opinion, obviously.
Well, I mean, I'll show you here. This is them. I mean, this is Harry. I mean, well, his brother has been received in Singapore, and I did my video. I put out 2 videos today, but my first video was about Prince William and the fantastic work he's doing.
Yeah.
And how he was received and everything. And the second one is about the doom, the marriage of doom with Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Because, I mean, look at Harry. Harry could have been, because he used to do what Prince William was doing. He used to go and represent the Queen. Remember when in 2016, he did the Caribbean for the Jubilee for the Queen, I think it was. He was representing the Queen, and he was welcomed by heads of state and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And now this is him. This is what he's resorted to, like being with Meghan Markle, looking miserable all the time. Like, what's incredible? That they tried to say that they were sitting with Celine Dion. They were not sitting with Celine Dion. And you can see Cameron Diaz here, Celine Dion, her 2 kids. This is Dida Vontis, I think her name is, or something like that. Celine Dion was not like in the middle, like in the proper VIP. They were like a little bit much below. And the funny thing is,
they like the cheap seats, don't they? Carry on.
Yeah. And and the thing is that nobody has seen them get on the jet with Cameron Diaz. You saw that page 6 was there, and they took pictures of Cameron Diaz, Zoe Saldana, and Cameron Diaz's husband, hugging each other, going into the plane. But you don't see Harry and Meghan Markle getting in the plane.
No.
And Harry could have had the chance of being with his brother, of being of something big. Do you think he's realized that, or do you think he's just throwing a tantrum, that he's unhappy, that his nastiness did not pay off?
Do you know what? I question who Harry is right now, and I would have questioned it anyway with all that we've watched him do. But you can't tell me that person there is a happy Harry, whether that's because he's jealous and he's angry and bitter that his brother, you can't ignore that applause. And that was once him and could have been him. But then at the same time, he's got to take masses of accountability for his actions as well, because he could have stopped that. I don't see how he's this. People have spoken about divorce all this time, and if any, in my opinion, if there's any moment for divorce, it's going to be like the start now, because his ego is not going to cope with that. But also, what has he got other than showing up on some celeb appearances to watch Katy Perry? Is that going to fulfill him? And if it does, and this is the real Harry, and he just really didn't want in and he wanted out, then be happy, isn't it? But do you know what I find? We see this Halloween picture, which could easily scope for a Google Street View picture. It looks like a Google Street View of them with their kids. And it's like, people are going, oh, leave them, they're just enjoying their life. They're putting pictures of their family out there into the domain.
That are false.
They're feeding, So what's actually changed? You're still feeding the media. You've not picked freedom. Difference being, William's going in honouring his country and his family, and you're sat watching Katy Perry.
Dragged through a hotel lobby by Meghan Markle, chicken legs, Meghan Markle, But it is something that I gotta say, it is kind of like we're watching, like I said, I did my video today, please go watch it. We're watching that Prince William chose somebody who mirrored, I spoke with a psychologist a long time ago, and she said that marriages, long-term marriages, the ones that go the distance, are based on respect and shared moral values.
Yeah.
If you share the same values, you can be different cultures. You can be like, and I've seen so many multicultural, has nothing to do with culture, their cultural differences. If you have the same core values and morals and you respect each other, you will last the distance.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Harry, so you see that Catherine, for example, she didn't go to Singapore because she's helping Prince George, to prepare for his entrance exam into Eton, right?
Yeah.
And then you see the articles of the Daily Mail that Harry and Meghan are enjoying a kids-free night. And, and it's quite scary because in the last 60 days, they spent barely 20 days with their children, and they've taken 16 private planes that we know of in different trips.
Whilst they preach about global warming, we just add.
Yeah, and how many and the children are only 2 and 4.
Yeah, I know. It's horrible, isn't it? And they seem to be locked away in a compound. Do you know what? I was going to do a post on this today, actually, because we see Harry and Meghan trick-or-treating, and we hear all this bad media, the big bad media, when they just, they're no different to what Harry's done in The Spare, what they've done in Netflix, added their glitter. This Mrs. Robertson who took his virginity, and she was just from the same friendship circle. She was like 2 years older. But it's that added glitter to make people pick up the book. Oh my God, some older woman took his virginity. And I see the headlines about the trick-or-treat. And the one time we've seen them at home, and it's Harry and Meghan's show-stopping moment as they knock on doors for treats. And it was like Harry and Meghan take Prince Archie and Princess on an adventure. And it's like, I'm guessing Harry and Meghan will be happy with these headlines. We're good to go with these headlines. We can absorb these headlines in, but it's just the ones that question them That's
I
bad.
already debunked that picture because if you look at it to their right, I did a live with POV with Andrew the POV about a
Yeah,
few days ago.
yeah,
And I immediately debunked that because the bodyguard is black. That's the black bodyguard they had about a year ago that they let go.
yeah.
Megan is a lot thicker and everybody. And so for people who tell me to go because some other YouTubers saying, just go watch my live with Andrew. I debunked that right then and there, that there is him day that the picture came out. I already said that that's the black bodyguard who's they make sure that they stay far away so only Harry and Megan can be seen in the picture. Because people are saying, where are the bodyguards? The black guy is there. It's the black bodyguard. Let me see. But let me show you the picture here. Uh and and I'll show you because it's there. They have the Halloween. Oh, the picture's not, now before the picture used to pop up it was here, Prince Harry Halloween, and now the picture doesn't pop up,
Yeah, I
which
tried it. I found it hard to look for it this morning.
you too, right?
I found it hard to find it this morning. I thought it'd
Prince
be more.
Harry, Meghan Halloween. Let me see because it's been kind of like um it's scrubbed. It's been scrubbed and it's hard to
Oh,
find.
it's on the South African website. I can see
Oh, I
that.
got it here. Yeah,
Yeah, you
it's
got
yeah,
it.
exactly. But we have to go there. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Before it
you have
was
to
everywhere.
search. You have to search.
Before you used to pop it. No, but that's no. I know where I'm gonna go. I know where I'm gonna go because I forgot about this, guys. I'll show you this, and then we'll move on to this. Let me see. There's this account on Instagram. Oh my God. Okay, I have to show you this, guys, because I don't even know. Oh, okay, here we go. I'll show you this account here. I'll show you this because it's here. I found it. Okay. Here. See?
Yeah,
Okay, I said before, this little kid, this is the black bodyguard. They had this black bodyguard about a year ago.
yeah,
And he's going around them. So this is why I said that this is an old picture. And also because Megan is quite thick. And we
yeah.
know that she is, look at that. Look,
Mhm.
they didn't want to show the bodyguard because then people would know that that's an old picture.
Yeah.
So, and then they have this is the one that I wanted to show you because this is where Harry's at the moment. This is the Sussex squad on Instagram. Look at Megan. This is what a prince of the United Kingdom is doing right now, walking through lobbies with a fat guy watching people taking blurry pictures because no pap actually follows them.
It's crazy, isn't it? What a sad existence, though. What a sad. That's that's what you chose. Well, and when you watch William doing what he's doing, it's just it completely just crushes these two.
But I mean, I don't even know. I mean, and and then now they have Omid Scobie has come out that gloves are off for Harry. That now he's gonna come and really trash in the Omid Scobie book, the End Game.
Yeah.
I mean, that they were pushed out of the monarchy, pushed out of the royal family. If I remember correctly, they wanted to leave. Harry sat at the Oprah thing and said that how relieved he was to be out of that prison,
But
that freedom fight they took.
if you rewind that back, though, they wanted 50-50. They wanted in and out. The
Yeah,
Queen
but when
said
they didn't
no.
get that,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and they
But
sat at
prior to that,
Oprah's.
they wanted both, and the Queen said no, and they didn't expect that, did they? And that's the thing. Yeah, you can sit on Oprah and say he's relieved, but what they really wanted was best of both worlds.
Yeah, but when he sat in Oprah,
Hmm.
you know, when they said how relieved he was that William and Charles were in a prison, that he was
Yeah.
glad he was out of there. That how he goes, I'm so relieved to be here. You
Hmm.
know, in California, away from that. They're prisoners. They have no choice. So how it's like, and then now Omid Scobie is coming out claiming that they were pushed out of the royal family.
Yeah, well, I'm a Scobie. Well, the thing is now at this point, and as much as I acknowledge that Harry has a big character change from what I've seen and perceived it to be, but
Well, we'll put up with PR.
every word printed now in that Omid Scobie book, in my eyes, Harry is approving of, because in if he. It's either that, or like with Amber Heard, for instance, she adds all her friends living in Johnny Depp's apartments, taking advantage, cashing in on him. Is that what's happening? I done a post the other day. I said, is it a point where Harry can't trust the people around him now, but he also understands that the ones that were there for him can no longer trust him, and he's stuck, But who knows? Because who knows who Harry is anymore?
Well, I have a feeling, and I know I've been saying this for a long time, I was trashed because people want to blame Meghan Markle. I've said that he's not bright, but he knows right from wrong.
Yes.
He's not bright, but he knows right from wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He knows clearly what's right from wrong, and because he's lived his life and he's been taught what's right from wrong.
Well, obviously, I grew up in abuse. My mum was there for 14 years, and it does get heavy on you. But it was when my nan was on her deathbed and said to my mum, please get out. Like that moment with Philip in the quick should have been enough, should have been enough for him to stop and say, no, I don't care. You want to go, we go. But he is accountable for that, regardless of what she's come and changed him or not. He is accountable for that. That's his family, and he needed to grow a backbone if that was the case. But, like I said, the more this goes on, the more I look at this and think, who is Harry? This is what he wanted, maybe.
Who was Harry? Why did the royal family cover up for him? Why did they sold that fake image to the world of who Harry was? They knew who Harry was from the beginning.
Because that's their only option, isn't it? What can they do? They can't hide him away. They see all the stories coming out. They've still got a brand to protect, because the one thing the royal family is still a brand. It's still a business. So they have to protect that, and we've seen them do that. But at the same time, he is a family member. What do you do? What do you do when you have a child who's going through adolescence and it's all on the front pages? They do, like the Truman Show. I would cover it for mine.
But they weren't really the Truman Show, because after Princess Diana died, the press stayed away from them completely. They had privacy, and they were able to go out whenever they wanted without people knowing. Because back then they didn't have selfies or cameras everywhere. Princess Diana was able to go around without, so it wasn't like Harry's portraying it to be. Now he's living in the Truman Show with Meghan Markle.
No, but when he was going through his falling out of nightclubs and stuff and on Las Vegas roofs, like when he naked or something, swimming in a pool and stuff, the press were there. They were getting, it was in the headlines. I remember that. I'm not defending him. This is the life. But also with that, he got a lot of gain. Let's be honest with you. He's not that bright. It's well documented. He wouldn't have had the careers and the experiences, the life experience. He wouldn't have had swords from Oman and flags from the North Pole, which he's ashamed of in his home. That's because of the gain he also took from that pain. It's just... It's, my opinion on it.
Yeah. And I want to talk about this because there's a case that we both want to talk about, guys, when it comes to power.
Yeah.
And this is why people with power, it shows what they can do to others. Mm-hmm. We want to talk about this because this is exactly, I know people are thinking, oh, Meghan Markle, this is what people with power do to people without power. Which is what Meghan Markle exactly is doing to everybody.
The thing is with Meghan Markle, what Meghan Markle's done, she had no power. She's used the royal family's power against them. Their name, this stage, she's, in my opinion, used that against them.
Yeah, but she still has it, and they allow her to do that.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, they still allow her to do that. They still,
But then, to be honest with you, I think the royal family are sitting pretty. Harry and Meghan have given them the biggest PR injection they could have ever wanted. Look at William, look at Catherine. Like, Harry and Meghan sat in a Katy Perry concert. Although their mates writing books, it doesn't matter, because let's be honest with you, a majority of people have been reading those books and buying those books off them just so they can destroy them some more. You're going to have the Sussex squad buying his book and like, oh, Harry and Meghan, but it's not damaging the royal family as such. So they are just, the royal family are going to keep stum until, I do feel like it's getting to the point where, though, the Omid book, if it, they do need to act. They do need to stop it, because it's going to damage.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen, somebody said to me, look at the person not when they're poor, but what they do when they have power. Because that's when they tell you what the kind of person, what kind of people they are. Meghan Markle has done to Samantha Markle, her own father, her own brother. I mean, Samantha is going to trial on the 8th, because her livelihood, her own life, there's enough sickos out there still following them. I know, because I still get death threats and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And this is just to show you, I know what it is because I've lived it myself. So stories like the one that we're going to discuss are very, very dear to me, because I mean, God, sometimes I did feel like this lady, I just couldn't take it anymore. It's when it goes on for years, you feel there's no end to it, and you see the other person running around with, this is why I empathize with Samantha so much, because you see the other person running around doing all these things, putting all these stories. And, I was looking at my TikTok, and there's this lady called Rosalina or something like that. And she's like, did you know that Paula was in jail and she had no custody of her son? And I'm like, this is now after I won all the trials, never been to jail. I've always had custody and legal guardianship of my son. My ex-husband has been found guilty of everything, but we have this narrative still out there, and it's never going to be erased from the internet, because for a long time my ex had that access.
Yeah.
And we have that same thing with Harry and Meghan Markle, with Samantha. This is never going to go away. There's always going to be some nut out there willing to do something. I mean, let's talk. Tell me who this lady is, and let's talk about who this lady is.
Okay, so this is Catherine Kasoff, and she is a mom, and it's been well documented. So she was a practicing lawyer. I'm not bang on here. So she was both her and her husband were lawyers, and somewhere in America. Over the years, obviously they started to have their family, they had their children. She stepped down so she could be at home with the kids. He carried on with his career. Then he became abusive over time. It got bad, and she started filming and documenting it. And sadly, she got diagnosed. It's sort of like, this is just a sort of guide. She got diagnosed with cancer, and it just grew from there. Then he used the power and the law firm and everything around him to just absolutely isolate her children away from her, and even getting evicted from their home with like barely any notice. Then she moved 100 meters away, but then he even done that and got her kicked out of that property. So she was completely isolated from her children. She was allowed visiting centre rights, and it's just devastating. And it got to the point where, in order to, she had nothing left. He took everything. And she went to Switzerland and took her own life, sadly, and left all the documents, all the court documents, all the proof, all the emails in a Dropbox, and done a last Facebook post. Have you got the Facebook post, Paula?
The what?
The Facebook post she left.
Let me see. I'll look it up right now.
Can you imagine being that broken?
It's justice for Catherine. No, I don't know. Let me see. I don't have it here. Let me see. I don't know my Facebook password.
I'm not on Facebook. Catherine Kasoff. It might
Yeah.
be somewhere else though. It might
But
not be.
what is she do with
Oh,
that?
here you go.
What did she do with that? She
So
basically had,
she put a post up on Facebook. This is her one. Do you want me to read it?
yes, please.
Dear friends, family, and supporters, it is with a profound heartbreak that I hope none of you ever experience that I am writing my last post ever. Today I will be ending my own life. I will be doing it so in a dignified and idyllic setting in Europe. There are simply no other options left. In the
Oh,
last 4 years, oh, you got it.
no, no, but read it because your English is better.
In the last 4 years of my life, I've woken up every day to a nightmare like no other. I can no longer endure the abuse and terror of Alan Kasoff, who has spent the last 4 years mercilessly trying to incarcerate me on false charges. As recently as March 2023, I have also endured the emotional devastation of being without my children for so long, homeless from Alan's repeated ex parte evictions of me from the homes I own and rented, deprivation of my property, and obliteration of my life savings, the loss of my 2 dogs, the loss of my career and reputation, and the humiliation and ostracism from all this. Perhaps if I had the physical endurance to keep going, I would. But with a new terminal health issue that will soon be severely limiting my physical strength as well, and with no protection from our courts, I cannot keep running from Alan. I was recently diagnosed with life-ending cancer after having breast cancer twice in my life already. I cannot go through debilitating chemo, surgeries, and radiation again, this time with a dire prognosis and with Alan fighting me until the sorry, I've lost it. So pretty much that's it. So those, right, what did he say to her? Dire
But
prognosis. And Alan fighting me until that dies and no court intervention whatsoever. Those were his exact words to me in an email he sent on March 19th. See Dropbox link. So please understand why I did not share this news widely. If Alan had known about my health issue, he surely would have tried that much harder to end my existence. As many of you know, on January, I have falsely arrested on serial reports made by Alan, and it goes on. So yeah, she was left with now. For me, growing up, I've watched the power that someone can take over you in a mental, physical way. But for people like Catherine and you, Paula, you've got this power on top of the power where they use and pull in all their links, all their contacts to annihilate you. Am I correct? You've been
yeah,
the
you
victim
feel
of that.
helpless because in my case, I won all the court cases.
Yeah.
And it was like Norway was like, no, we're not going to recognize the court cases that I won.
Yeah.
And it was like going insane. I
Yeah.
felt like I was going insane because these court cases were done against me by Norway and my ex-husband with the help of Norway.
Yeah.
And at one point I remember thinking, I mean, it started in 2013
Mm.
and it went all the way to 2022 because, and I had like 6 or 7 trials. He lost all of them, and at one point, and luckily I didn't have cancer, and Kat is wondering why the police and courts wouldn't help her.
From what I've read and from what I've seen in the story, is he was that heavily linked. There were incidents where she went to pick up her child from hockey. It's all on camera. It was all in this Dropbox. This absolute, all this evidence, and he had called to say that was disturbing the breaching the peace, and the police come around. They didn't arrest her. They sort of, there's proof to the point that they didn't need to. But because he was heavily linked to the family court system, she just got nowhere with it.
Yeah, they were very powerful and well connected.
Yeah.
It is kind of like, if you think about it, this is like kind of what's happening to Samantha too. Because, for example, I mean, look at Meghan Markle getting away with committing perjury in the United Kingdom. And, look at Samantha being disabled and without any means. and having the royal family help Meghan Markle trash her own family. They're watching all of this.
Yeah.
They had the power to stop this, and they're still encouraging it.
Mm.
And like Z says, imagine and by the way, you told me that the judge, they even denied her seeing her kids before she died, right?
Yeah, he didn't give her the last goodbye.
And does he still have custody of the children?
Last I heard, yeah.
So he's not.
His law firm, they still were supporting him after, but obviously there was a massive social media campaign. People were just, they found out that they were the lawyers for Samsung. So then people were going for Samsung. Then Samsung Switzerland just cancelled them. It got big and big. Then the law firm sort of come out to say that he was going to step down to take care of his children, etc. This is all vaguely from what I remember the case to be. This is roundabout. This is not a definite word for word, but this is just a scope on what I read and bits I picked up. So that's what happened. So then, because he was a partner of this law, I think you'll be able to find it actually.
Like Deborah Dove, my mother went to prison on a 20-year sentence after being falsely accused. Thankfully, the appellate court overturned her conviction, but she lost 6 years of her life. And that's the thing, that with time, you never get it back.
No.
And you know what? That's always there. And people will always say, oh, well, if she got that, it's because she must have done something, And
Alan was a
Athena
pet.
says weakness attracts abuse. I disagree with that, Athena.
What's
Not
that?
necessarily weakness. Weakness attracts abuse. I disagree with that. I was not a weak person, but I was at a disadvantage in regards to my ex-husband. So I wouldn't say weakness, because if I were a weak person, I would have never been able to keep fighting for 10 years. I would have just said, fine, I'll go back and stay married with him and stuff like that. So in that kind of regards, I don't kind of agree with that. And let's not forget that this lady had terminal cancer. She had no means. It's very expensive in the United States. She was demoralized.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I don't know. I mean,
sorry.
what do you think?
Have you seen some of the videos of him screaming in the house? And that's what struck a chord from this Alan Kasoff. There's TikToks of what she had filmed. And even down to her after a treatment when she had her first round of cancer. And it's just devastating, actually. It's a real trigger warning. Like, the kid's in bed with her, he's refusing. He's telling her to get out of bed to take them to school. Bear in mind, she's just had some sort of therapy, chemo, etc. And the girl's begging for, she don't want to go with him. And it's just really, really
That's
bad.
terrible. Also why I don't agree with this statement. Samantha is disabled and she's fighting Meghan.
Mm-hmm.
So you see, Samantha's not weak. She's just at a disadvantage. And I would say that predators pick prey that are weak in the sense, or a disadvantage, not weak. And sometimes they pick the wrong prey.
Yeah.
They picked the wrong prey in the sense that they picked on Samantha, and Samantha is not having any of it.
No. And why should she?
What did you say, sweetie?
I said, and why should she? Why should she pull up with it and take what has happened to her and her dad and her family? Weakness attracts abuse. I think vulnerability. I remember my mom met our abuser. She had just come out of a relationship. She had 2 children. He walked into her life. Now, I think they got a certain, Harry, he had something going on, didn't he? His trauma of his mom, as much as he can go on about that. But obviously, no sane person will go through what we've watched happen today.
Yeah, but what do you think? No, I think no, I understand. We're not picking on you. We're having a debate on what, when I read your comment, because it was such a short sentence. It said that I understand what you mean, but what I'm saying that just to correct that, some people are weak, but predators pick their prey, and sometimes they are right about picking their prey, and sometimes they're wrong. For example, Meghan Markle picked on her sister. thinking that because she was disabled and she had a more powerful, now she had a huge platform and a huge family backing her every move. Because let's be clear here, the royal family members covered up for Meghan Markle, and they knew exactly what was going on.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, Athena, I'm just reading the comments now. No, I'm sorry, I didn't realise. Yeah, you misunderstood my comments. I was talking about illness. Yeah, no, yeah, Meghan. Well, I think Meghan Markle thought her power could silence everyone. You know, like even her sister. You know, that's the craziest thing for me. The fact she sat on Netflix and says, "I'm the only child." I just, how is that not?
You know, I did a video. I was going through my videos because I kept getting people telling me, oh, go check out this YouTuber because this YouTuber just said that. And it's so funny because if they had watched my videos, they would see that a year and a half ago, I basically said the same thing. But at that time, Samantha hadn't sued Meghan. But I was saying that Samantha had a good case because had Meghan stopped at saying, I felt like an only child, but then had she not said the following sentence, which is, this is why I'm pregnant again because I wish I had siblings. Had she not said that and left it at, I felt like growing up, that would have been okay. I did a video a year and a half ago, so go look for it because it's right
Yeah,
around
yeah,
the time. And then I said, you know, Meghan, when she said the word only, that's when she screwed herself over because Samantha had been changing her name back and forth, and Meghan was aware with that. But when when Meghan used the word that Samantha only changed her last name when she started dating Harry, I said that's another thing for lawsuit because that is a very not a I think it was she only this is not a perception. And I did that video and it was like a 20-minute video, and I said if I were Samantha I would sue. This is before I even talked to Samantha,
yeah.
you know. And then but it's funny because clearly people not watching my videos. That's the message I got. But you know, it is something. For example, for that lady, the reason why we're talking about that lady, guys, is because it is important to highlight what kind of abuse somebody with, and this is just a bloody lawyer with a very
Mhm.
influential family in New York. Apparently there's been investigations about this family, but can you imagine that the dying mother couldn't even say goodbye to her kids? Hey, Isabella, okay, you remember that video? Thank you. So you did watch it. This is
There you go.
guys. I did that video. I did it because I was so raged and I was talking about Samantha and why wasn't Meghan Markle sued. This is, like, because and I said that, had Meghan Markle not used the word only,
Mhm.
she would have been okay. But she did because, and I even said that I talked to friends of mine that were lawyers who told me that Samantha had a great case. And then when I met Samantha, I told her that. So, but it's funny that people tell me that. But thank you, Isabella, for coming on and saying that. I cannot, Sheila McIntyre says, I cannot compare Samantha's case to the Kasoff case. Actually, I can. I think it's a lot worse because Meghan Markle has gone and befriended Samantha's daughter and turned her against her. Thomas
Yeah.
Markle's kids, because we've had Thomas Markle. I've done a few lives with Thomas Markle. Thomas Markle kids have been turned against him by Meghan Markle.
No, but I think what this Sheila's saying, if you've seen the videos, this is young children that are being manipulated and used in a game of pawns. They can't defend themselves. This is a mom not saying goodbye. I get the whole concept, and it is similar in the way of power and abuse. But I understand what Sheila's saying. Like, these are young children like that. So, but in general, I get it because they do mirror, and the whole concept of it's awful what's happened to the Markles.
People don't
The
understand that
fact that,
Samantha is heavily disabled, guys.
yeah.
Samantha, I don't know if you show her, she doesn't show her hands because she has very little control of her hands.
Mm-hmm.
Multiple sclerosis that advanced. She's very defenseless because Samantha, when she gets a death threats or she gets a crazy stalker at the door, she can't get up and run.
No.
She
No,
needs
no,
help.
and it's awful. And no, I don't deny that. And I've seen the message that night, and how much she's suffering. And I can't even imagine how much it would impact me having someone do that. You know, if you were to mirror it to Catherine Kasoff, she's powerless. She can't, well, she can, she's trying. Video with the children. Yeah, see, if you've seen the videos to that, I can understand where they're coming from. But I understand it. Samantha's powerless. Like, she feels powerless, and to constantly watch it and constantly be silenced. And you've got this other family who have got the platform to stop these two, and they're not doing anything. You must feel like they can't move on, can they, the Markles? They can't move on, or you know, like you said with Thomas, I can imagine it's really hard for him because he's got no closure with Meghan. She's just cut and run. But he sees her all the time, you know? He sees his grandkids, pictures of Halloween. And these are the moments. What they done by leaving was that small, yeah? And since it's just grown so evil and toxic.
What Megan didn't take into account is Samantha may be physically disabled, but she's a hell of a lot brighter than Meghan, and also has integrity, something that Meghan Markle completely lacks.
And I've done a post where I've said about Samantha Markle when she came out and done a piece ages ago, but it's just fluent talking. There's no added sparkle. It's from the heart. It's readable. It's audible. With Meghan, it's not genuine. Like we see with Catherine, it's just like a natural reactions, behaviours. Samantha Markle's the same. She's literally just speaking how she feels. You know, it's truth.
No, and I mean, and this is one of the things that people don't understand. Samantha does lives. She never says, I can't speak about this or that. She puts herself out there. Literally, the same thing with Thomas Markle. They both put themselves out there, you know, and then there's like, you can ask him anything. You will never see Harry and Meghan in that scenario, ever.
Look if you've seen my post today about Catherine with the little boy and giving him a puppy.
No, but I can go into TikTok and see it.
Oh, my God, it's incredible. Like, she's in a school. Well, I'm guessing she's in a school because she's asking the kid if that's his teacher or his mom. It looks like a school setup. It's just her on a playground with a little boy, no stools, no carpet brought in, no NDAs, parents filming, and this natural moment.
Let me see. I got you here. So let me see. It's which one is it? Is it the one where Prince William is holding the little baby, or
no, the one with the red poppies around the edge?
Okay, let me see. Ah, okay, here we go. I'm going to share this with you guys.
My name is...
Okay.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Have you got a puppy?
I haven't got one.
Yeah, famous. Would you like mine?
Yeah.
Yeah. You can have my puppy. There you go. See if I can get it out. Shall I see if I can get out? You know, this is cool. It's remembering all the soldiers who died in the war. There you go, that's for you. You look after it? Yeah? Maybe I'll give you, is your teacher here or your mummy here? Yes, mummy's here. Is your mummy here? Shall I give her the pin in case she wants to put it on? Nice to meet you. What's your name?
Isn't she beautiful?
Just like to be like she are incredible, but it's just she wants to serve, you know. She respects it. She wants to help, you know. She's getting down on her knees to his eye level. Just all these moments of authenticity, you know. It's beautiful.
Yeah, no, I understand that. You know, it is something like, let me show you this. I'm going to show you here because I have it here. I actually posted this on my...
in my bedtime story den.
Hi, and welcome to Brightly Storytime. I'm Megan, the Duchess of Sussex, and today...
Hello, my name is Catherine, and tonight we're in my bedtime story den.
Hi, and welcome to Brightly Storytime. I'm Megan, the Duchess of Sussex, and today I'm going to...
Hello, my
I mean, it goes on and on and on and on. I mean,
She's something else. It's embarrassing. Like, get your Meg blankets at the ready. I can't. It's just. I wrote a poem on that, in how, like, I'm not a princess today. I'm just Catherine. You know, in how she gave that boy a core memory. In how one day, maybe on Remembrance Day, he's going to remember this moment. This princess got down on her knees to him without a carpet, without. It just was Catherine to his, you know. Oh,
let me show you
God.
this. Let me show you this because this is Prince William. Wait 1 second.
Is this the photo? Just literally.
Oh, William. William, can we give this to Catherine? She loves Anne of Green Gables? Yes.
Fantastic.
Yes.
That's really kind of you.
Yes. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay.
Just say,
Are these the trees in here? Wow. And who's that? Is that you? That's you, actually. Thank you very much.
little boy.
Hold on.
Oh, wait. Oh, William. William, can we give this to Catherine?
You know, it's like, how they love people. You know. Oh, thank you, Sugar Girl. Thanks for the super chat. Thanks. The Harkles will get their comeuppance. How do you say that in English? When their children are old enough to write "Mommy Dearest" 2.0.
Yeah. I said this in a book the other day. Like, no parents are perfect, you know. And if you look at Charles, okay, so whatever with Diana,
He shouldn't have written that book either. He shouldn't have written that book in 1994.
No, he's done it as well, right? He's no angel, but he's tried. He's tried with his boys, and
he never apologized. He never apologized to the Queen for writing the book.
No, and I don't think the royal family would demand an apology of Harry either.
They did.
Prince
Philip, no, but Prince Philip came out and publicly trashed Charles and said that he should apologize to his mother. And Prince Charles came out and said that he had nothing to apologize for.
Oh my God! Well, that's the entitlement in it. That, you know, as much as we.
So he's getting exactly what he asked for. You know, karma is a bitch. Karma never forgets a bloody address. I gotta tell you. Karma, you know what? Is the postman in the world.
They all go on about generational abuse. Then maybe the generational abuse with them, like, is writing books on each other. You know, just like maybe when Archie and Lilibet knock one up in like 20 years time.
Genetic. What's it called? Harry calls it genetic pain. Let me show you some pictures here. People are asking me here for the pictures, okay, for the baby. So
the baby. Oh my
God. Let me see if I can share, guys, so you guys can see.
If this doesn't get like your ovaries like kicking off, I don't know what will.
I know which one you mean. Is the one with the babies, right? So let me see. Oh, yeah, I'm going to share this with you. I did this on TikTok. I think you in Singapore. And he looks amazing. You see and hear a lot of people waiting for him to cheer him on because he's a man of honor, integrity. He does not commercialize his position, and instead, he's using his position to promote others and promote causes. On his own, he's an amazing man with an amazing family, no matter the slurs that other people have tried to throw at him. Truly a regal man. And what's beautiful is look at the little baby there, how he's looking at William. And William did clear rapport with young fans, older ones, and new fans. I mean, really from really young to old elderly fans, everybody loves him. Everybody. Look at the clear rapport with that little baby. Yet, for all the haters of Princess Diana, look at these very young fans. These fans are not even, or these people who are waiting for Prince William in Singapore at Singapore airport. I don't even think they're 27, 25 years of age. They were not alive when Princess Diana probably died. And look at the pictures that they're holding, waiting for him to arrive. Those are not pictures of Charles. Those are pictures of his mother. That is truly a legacy and a testament of how this woman was loved worldwide. And her legacy is that of kindness, love, true compassion. Also, who used her platform for good. She didn't commercialize her position. She wouldn't even dream of it. Whatever her flaws as a human being were, you cannot deny that she was truly a proper humanitarian who used her position truly for good. She was not some cheap actress trying to fake compassion in order to, and to further advance her commercial value. This is a proper princess, even though she was not born royal. She's an aristocrat. But even with her wealth and position on her own, she did everything and used her position to highlight the plight of others, especially really hard causes. But this is what these fans were waiting for when they were waiting for Prince William, holding his late mother's pictures. And look at this young lady, young girl, a young lady. Look how adoringly she's looking at Prince William. And somebody yelled at him and said, "Oh, you're so handsome." And people think, "Oh, he has no hair." So he's a very gorgeous man. He's a truly kind man. And look also what they're holding, his mother's picture. And I can tell you, it clearly shows his mother's picture that, as I said before, this is truly the legacy of Princess Diana. People who never were not even alive when she was born are holding her picture up because they know that this was a proper, beautiful lady, just like her son. They both have compassion in their hearts for others who are less fortunate. And just like Prince William, Princess Diana knew that, that her son someday would be king. And she taught him well. She taught him compassion and love. But sometimes, that can't be taught because she taught those things to both her children. But only one is fulfilling in carrying on with her legacy and making his mother proud. He says hello to a horde of people waiting for him. He doesn't need to call paps. He doesn't need to call anybody. People come and flock because people know and understand the real deal. Who is the man of the future King of England, the current Prince of Wales, William the Conqueror.
Paula, have you got the video of him arriving and the crowd erupting?
Where?
Go on to mine. There's a video of when he arrived and everyone going mental.
But I mean, what do you think of that? I mean, because I know a lot of people trash Princess Diana. I hate that. And I tell you why, because she's a dead woman. She can't come up and defend herself.
Yeah, that's what Harry's reduced it to, isn't it? Even the people that support them have been trashing her. I've had on and I'm like, what are you doing? That's his mom. You're meant to love his wife. What are you doing? It's just crazy. You won't find William speaking about Diana much unless it's in a positive way. And that's not to hide away what's happened. It's to carry on her name. It's to carry on the good she gave. And, what Harry's done is turned her into a meme, in my opinion, personally.
It is horrible. It is horrible because it is incredible. The legacy. Can you imagine William being so proud that when he lands, he sees pictures of his mothers on these young girls that were not alive when Princess Diana had been dead a few years, and they still have these pictures of Princess Diana. And I tell people this: I go to the farm here, which these girls don't know anybody. I mean, they barely know how to read. They recognize the picture of Diana.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the princess, la princesa. And I'm like, you know her? Yeah. And they're like 18, 17 years of age.
You know what, though?
How proud he must be to see his moms. And and that because that speaks volumes of Princess Diana. The reason why she was loved, I think, for me, because she was a flawed human being who didn't make excuses for herself. She didn't say, "Oh, he made me do this or this." No, it's like, yeah, I did that.
Yeah.
I own it, like, yep, I also did it. Yep, 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 yep. It's like you never heard her complain. I mean, her bodyguard, Ken Wharf, said that. I'll send you the links for that.
Yeah.
That she was never a self victim, and that she always made fun of herself. She was very self-deprecating, that she always laughed. She wasn't that cry baby like Meghan Markle, always crying on the floor.
Mhm.
So, it's so for me, it must have been, can you imagine that people love William? And I can tell you that a lot of people, Harry had a lot of goodwill because of Princess Diana. He's the son of Princess Diana, not King Charles, the son of Princess Diana.
But what you say about Diana being flawed, the reality is Harry, before Meghan came along, was one of the most favouritist royals because he was flawed, because we see this rebellious streak. And the reality is the only reason why there's such a reaction is because her sons became an extension of her. We watch them grieve. We watch their happiest days. They become an extension of her. We were watching them both at one point in their life, Harry too, being with the people. And this is why you've got this mass reaction, this happiness when you see William, which is well deserved, him going to Singapore and having an applause and a welcome like that after all that we've watched. And this is why people are angry with Harry. As much as we feel like the proud auntie watching William, we're the angry aunties towards Harry. And it's crazy. But that's how a lot of people in the UK, Commonwealth, and across the world feel, because they felt that way about Diana. They were her boys. And, when we watched them walk behind that coffin, we took them in. It felt like that. In my
I found your
opinion.
TikTok. Is that the one where he's coming in?
Where?
Let me show you. I'll show you. Let me see, because I love the way you do TikToks. Here.
Yeah. The noise.
Okay.
And make a deal with God, and I get him to swap places.
I can't play it because of the music.
Yeah, it's too loud on here, isn't it? But the crowd...
No, it's because of copyright. When you play music on YouTube,
does it stop
right?
you? But you know what, right? We've watched him, two brothers, one choose a way of validation and self-healing with a good wife in his family by his side, and look what he's created for himself in Taken, the opportunities that's been given. And that's why you see good going to him today.
Yeah, no, I agree. This is why I said in my TikTok that Prince William is loved for who he is.
Yeah.
But I mean, let's face it. I mean, you don't see any other royals, and I can guarantee you that it had nothing to do with him being the son of King Charles. It had to do with him being the son of Princess Diana. Let's face it. Yeah. I mean, let's face it. I mean, they were not holding King Charles's pictures. They were holding Princess Diana's picture.
They're an extension of Princess Diana. They are an extension of Princess Diana.
Yeah, so people love them.
Yeah,
for that.
Absolutely.
And Harry has been exploiting that, but I think he's run out of exploiting that. What do you think?
Yeah, oh God, yeah. He can try, and they do it through Miss Goby. And if they do this movie, which is sort of similar stories, someone grieving the loss or what have you of their parents and Love by the Lake or what have you, they do it in that kind of way to do the victimhood still. But can he write more books? People they're a laughing stock. They are a laughing stock to most, and that's the reality. So I don't think anyone will touch them really now with a barge pole. Any acting career she potentially had is gone unless it's really shit opportunities.
No, I don't know. I'm just putting it, let me see. Let me see. I have some, he says, I remember Harry smashing into everyone with his bike and being a brat as a kid. And another one says, Harry was never sweet like William, So, I mean, this is why I said that you can have many siblings in the household. They all get taught the same things, but they have each one has a different value.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And from what we can see, you know, Meghan hasn't told Harry to say about the biggest bedroom in Balmoral and sausages on plates. There was obviously a lot of jealousy towards William and being the older sibling and to be the king and what have you. But, you know, you watch Anne and how she, you know, and you watch Charlotte, and I can only imagine that Harry and William were treated equally after their mum died. You did see them always with Charles. You know, you never looked at them and gone king and spare at any point. You know, our prince goes to Singapore. One prince goes to Singapore commercial plane, and one goes to Katy Perry concert and hitches a ride back on a private plane. Oh God!
And you can see Harry being miserable, but it's his own doing. You know, it doesn't.
Absolutely.
It doesn't behoove him to be the victim in his own creation, because all the nightmare that Harry's living right now, he already knows Meghan is lying to him. He already knows Meghan has lied to him.
Yeah,
but he's gone too deep into her hole in all matters. Meghan is fighting with him because he doesn't want to accompany her to Florida. You know, because she didn't accompany him to London for the trials.
No.
But she wants him there because she wants to parade a prince, because she knows that without parading a prince, parading a prince will have more. She thinks in her mind that will influence the judge.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely she will. And she likes to parade a prince anyway, don't she? That's all she's got now. And let's be honest, she didn't really have a lot before, did she? You know? She claimed her prince.
Can you imagine?
And he's happily gone along with it and more for him. And I could never, you know, I will never justify his behaviour. You know, he's going to have to deal with the aftermath of that. But at the end of the day, you can't deny if Harry was a princess and the shoe was on the other foot, it would be treated differently. It would be seen differently. However, I can't condone his behaviour either. The fact that he lets his wife destroy his family relationships and he throws them under the bus on national TV shows his true nasty character. And that's the thing, he did do that. He signed the contracts. To sit on that sofa on Oprah and know that your granddad is laying in bed poorly and watching that after... Didn't Philip sort of step up and walk behind the coffin down the mall with Harry because he didn't want him to face that alone? And that man was lay in his... And that, Harry's got to live with that. She won't care. She's just like, in my opinion...
Meghan doesn't care about anybody. Meghan cares about Meghan Markle.
Yeah. She is more scary, in my opinion, than the likes of Amber Heard. Because Meghan, like Amber Heard, knew what she was doing. It's almost like she knew that she was in trouble when she was trying to get out. You know, Meghan just seems to genuinely think that this is okay to do.
No, Meghan knows it's not okay. No, I disagree with you. I think she knows. Oh, yeah, she knows. The thing is, she's never been held accountable. You see, Meghan, I don't think, because remember, Amber Heard had a different upbringing than Meghan. Mr. Markle pretty much indulged every whim. And I mean, when she didn't get a response from the Procter & Gamble, he went and hired and asked a favor from the Nickelodeon lady to do a commercial so his princess would have her voice heard. You know, so Mr. Markle made sure that and I don't mean it in a mean way, because he was trying to be a loving parent, but you know, he didn't know he was dealing with a sick mind in the sense of, you know, narcissistic person.
And you would, if you had those connections, you would help your child if they were into that. You know, he didn't know what was to come. You know, and I've seen a few posts saying that he spoiled her. You know, he's a dad. You don't know what the future's going to bring. Harry and Meghan don't know what their future's going to bring.
I wish we were alive to read that book. That those kids, if they exist, are going to read. You know, because all of this is going to come out eventually. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that this is the big thing. If Meghan didn't think she was doing anything wrong, she would tell the truth. But she lies.
I don't think she knows how.
Yeah, but she has to lie. She knows she lies because she has to cover her lies. So if the moment that she's lying, she's premeditating something. And she lies to cover it up.
I think she creates her own. I think she's sat in a delusion. I think she creates her own. I feel like she justifies it in her own way, that it's not a lie. Do you know what I mean? She'll find the words, you know, we watched the Kardashians, I just see, about the Kardashians and how they don't even throw their family under the bus. And apparently they wanted her to go on the show, allegedly, which don't shock me because Kris Jenner is all about, she knows Meghan being on the show.
Well, I don't, you know, Meghan Markle, you know, the thing is not that she doesn't know what she's doing. She knows, which is why she's created all these lies. From the moment she goes and puts on the perfume and stuff like that, and she's manipulating people and she's lying about things, and
she knows what she's doing now.
Yeah. I mean, when you don't know, you just blurt out, oh, actually, yeah, my dad paid for the school. It's just that all her life she's been able to get away with it before because she was a nobody, so nobody checked her lies. So she was able, but as soon as she hit the big time, you know, the big platform, then everything she's ever said was under scrutiny, and she posted all of that herself. And this is the thing, and she's been allowed. I mean, what consequences are there for her to lie and cheat about her family, to defame her own family, to lie about the royal family, to commit perjury in the UK courts? I mean, what have been the consequences, Tina? Tell me.
Well, let's be honest with you. The only consequences they've got so far is the fact they're a laughing stock and people don't respect a word that comes out of their mouth. So, you know, she hasn't gone to jail. That's not going to happen, let's be honest. But
I think she might end up in jail.
You know what? It's the consequences.
I think she might end up in jail, but not for the reasons people think. I think she's going to end up in jail because of tax evasion. She was once, I'm trying to get that record. She was once cautioned and she had to pay $1,000, I don't know how many thousands, because she lied in her tax declaration in the US. And she had to pay a few thousand, and she had she was admonished, I think.
I couldn't.
So this is a woman who has a tendency to cheat. No, I'm trying to get that back, but for some reason, I remember I had downloaded that, you know, because Meghan Markle had to pay a few thousands for cheating on taxes. I have a feeling that is going to be their downfall, just like Al Capone, you know?
I can't comment to that because I literally just post on how I feel about a post.
No, but you know what I mean? It's yeah, but I'm asking you, what has been her aftermath of lies, of trashing people, throwing people under the bus? Look how she threw Jessica Mulroney under the bus, although they still speak together. People think that they don't speak. They aren't speaking terms. Even Jessica Mulroney said in 2021 that they speak every day, but she decided not to post about it because of the hate that she gets.
Yeah. But that's all that Meghan has got, isn't it? You know, an army of bots, and that's it. There's no friends, no family. Do you know, you can have all the money in the world, and that's what, you know, I sort of said in that post about William. You know, he had the hardest day, and no wealth could replace. You know, and that's the thing with Meghan Markle. What has she got? Okay, she's got a shit ton of money, but that's going to run out soon. She's got no future prospects of a career looking. She's got a miserable husband who's going to bring a wealth of issues now because he's not happy. And anything that they speak or do is questioned because it's probably not true. So to be honest with you, you can have all the money in the world and they've got nothing. They have nothing. So I think that's their aftermath. Lonely, hated, and that's, you know, that who knows what the future holds. And whether it'll get worse and they carry on, they get desperate and they do more bucks, then there may be more of an aftermath, mightn't there?
You know, I was thinking of the aftermath of the kids. There are any kids. Can you imagine? These kids will be bullied in school because of the parents. You know, the parents, especially in these things, they don't understand because maybe because Meghan has always been the bully. You know, and she thinks that a royal title, which they will be mocked for that in the United States to begin with, if they still allow them to keep them. You know, it's I mean, she's preparing these kids for a world of hurt. What do you think?
In my opinion, yeah.
I mean,
she's preparing herself.
You suffer from domestic violence. I don't know if you suffer bullying in school or if everything was okay in school for you.
Well, just school was just a non-existence because of my home and growing up in domestic violence. I didn't really, I acted out, I suppose, at school at times. It was just, my childhood's pretty much it's obviously not a blur. Well, yeah, it probably is a blur, a lot of it. I write in my book and stuff, but are our kids going to suffer? I think, to be honest with you, Meghan and Harry are going to be the ones questioned by their kids to why. What, it's going to be sad because I put a video up the other day, actually, and it's a really nice video of George with Charles, with the Queen and William, and they're all baking a cake, and you've got these natural interactions. Harry's children, and we've watched Harry have that with bike rides with Charles and Diana.
I'm just going to say something. Thank you for not saying this organic interactions. I fucking hate that word because Meghan uses it. It's also organic.
Did I say organic?
No, I'm saying thank you for not saying it. Any word used by Meghan Markle really triggers me.
But I can ramble and speak words.
No, but go for it. You were saying that they were interacting. No, but that was nice that you spoke like a grown-up.
And we watched Harry have that, yet his children are being taken away from that. And I've said before, they've got a table in their house, no matter that seats probably 15 to 20 people. They've got 4 placemats, 5 with Doria. What a sad existence. You've got all these family members, one group being, and you've got the Markles, you've got Thomas Markle, who was there, holidays. You've seen it, the video footage, prom. This man cared and adored his daughter to the point where he made a chicken soup when she was poorly. I never had that off of Dad.
He FedExed it to her.
Pardon?
He FedExed the soup to her because she was in university. So he sent her the soup.
It's and that's why I think a lot of people look on when you listen to them try and claim victimhood when they've had bloody good. Charles used to sit on Harry's bed and tickle his face when he was scared of the dark and leave the door ajar open. Like, does he understand that some kids fear their dad's coming into? I know this is a trigger warning, but some kids have grown up fearing their dads in that way. Like, his dad was there as a safe. Like, they don't even appreciate how good they had it. And that's like a kick in the gut to anyone. He was born into a royal family. He was born into a monarchy, the restraints. Some kids are born into
poverty, abuse,
drugs, homelessness. Like,
hunger.
They haven't got a clue. Sorry, rant.
No, but I want you to rant about that. I want you to rant about that because this is why I want you, and I want that I want to use this. I know my platform is not big, Tina, but I want us to talk about these things because I do want to start talking about these things because there's a lot of people that don't have a platform. So if there's any of you out there that you need to, we're not psychologists or anything like that but we will hear what you have to say. If you feel like coming here and talking and remaining anonymous, we'll more than happy. Please feel free, because I know and Tina knows what it feels like to have, you don't have anybody, you feel you can't, nobody listens to you. So yes, like Isabella says, rant away, Tina. Like, for example, if you saw somebody like Harry in your school, would you consider him a bully?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
What, with what he's doing now as a child, ramming a bike into people? I don't know, right? Because this is the thing. Because I grew up in so much shit. This is what I sort of say. People on TikTok. I've got a bigger following on TikTok now than YouTube. And all these people are struggling mentally, and they have done because they want to be everything but a victim, even though they are the victims. They don't even feel like they deserve the victimhood. They don't even feel like they are worthy of being in that pain. And you watch Harry and Meghan take this victimhood on the main stage, like this is the bar for it. And it's like a kick in the gut to people that have experienced pain. Because And would I see Harry as a bully? The thing is, because I've been through bad, I try and see the goods, and I have to, that's what people have been, because you've been treated so bad.
Look at his book, though, Tina. Look at his book.
Oh, the way
it really upsets me. You know which passage really upsets me? And I know maybe the passage with the matron.
Yeah.
That clearly the matron had a disability, and her physical appearance was not, up to par according to this ugly looking fucking ginger. And this lady was ultra kind to him.
Yeah.
Because he admits that he was there to soothe him and help him and guide him and stuff like that. And the way he laughs at her and he mocks and denigrates this lady.
Yeah.
And this is why I mock his personal appearance, his friar tuck hair. He even goes in a book and in a worldwide tour. And he did that interview with Anderson Cooper, where it says, Anderson Cooper goes, "Don't you think that's pretty mean? You making fun of your brother?" Oh, but that's the reality. I mean, this is why I did that thing today with his friar tuck hair, But and this is why I mock his physical thing, because I mean, he mounts women, he trashes their physical appearances. Everything is horrible there.
No.
I mean, what did you think of that part of the book?
I just think he's, we've seen it with him growing up, with headlines and costumes. He's not the perfect being, is he? Let's be honest. And it's not great. It's not great. The fact that he puts that on the pages and thinks that's okay, that's more of an issue, It's hi, Queenie.
And people will know who she is. That's the worst part of it all.
Yeah, well, I said this.
This isn't a book that sold worldwide, and then he went with Dr. Gabor Mate talking about mental health issues.
Yeah, I know.
Does he even think of the mental health issues if this lady's still alive when she reads that book? What he thought of her?
Do you know what? I said this about the Mrs. Robertson sort of woman, his friend, and she came out, didn't she? And then people were absolutely slating her for coming out, and it was just crazy, because it was like, all right then, okay, so people don't know who she is now, but people from back then at that time who knew that happened would have known. So it was only a matter of time. So she had to jump on that quickly. She had to jump on that quickly, but then she got absolutely shamed over it for speaking out. And it was like, she was doing her life. She's probably married now. Can you imagine?
She is married. She has kids.
Yeah, married and kids. This block hits your life. It's you. People know it's you. But she got absolutely shamed for it. Should have kept her mouth shut. Well, why should she? Did he? Do you know what the worst thing is? Her doing that. He would have been the one person she never ever believed would leak that
story. Then wasn't he paranoid about his friends and that leaking story? How all of them had to keep quiet, and now he would test them and all kinds of things like that.
No, I don't know on that one.
Yeah, he said he was paranoid because he thought he would tell them fake like lies to see who would leak, to see what ended up in the press, because that's how paranoid he was.
Yeah.
Because he demanded absolute loyalty from everybody in silence.
Well, that's the thing with some of all of this, isn't it? They can talk, they can say whatever they want, they can speak their truth, but no one else can.
Yeah, they sue the hell out of you.
And that's what I said earlier, these headlines, that adventure, and you're just taking your kids trick or treat, and actually it's nice to see you with your kids for a change, if they exist. And you're just doing what every other parent is doing. But I bet they'll be happy with those headlines, because they're not questioning them, and they want to silence people that are questioning them, aren't they? My opinion.
Yeah, Queenie Morris is saying that lady did the right thing. Of course, she jumped ahead. Yeah. Because she knew she was going to be hounded, and she wanted to jump ahead. I absolutely agree with that. And you know what? He said it was an older woman. She's younger than Meghan Markle.
She was a groom hand. So actually, right, we go about, so he made it out to be like this power balance. She was older than him. She was the power. She was a groom hand. He was the prince. Who's taking advantage of power in that situation?
Absolutely. That's absolutely amazing. That is absolutely true. Tomorrow I'm going to do a video about Jada and Meghan.
Yeah.
How these two women took two powerful, popular men and turned them to shit. Well, that's not what the video is going to be called, because then YouTube won't let me allow it. But I mean, it's I want you to do it with me because I want you to if we can do it tomorrow, if we can record it, it'll be like a half an hour video. I'll just post the 2 clips because one of the things that they use the most is the I'm gonna kill myself tool, trigger warning. Megan, I don't want to be alive anymore. And the same thing with Jada Pinkett. When she said that she needed to do it before 4 p.m. before the kids got there, and she needed to make sure that she made it look like an accident. I mean,
yeah.
It is absolutely terrible that these people did. Amber use that?
Amber, I'm not quite sure off the top of my head, so I'm not going to quote it. I don't think so. I don't believe she did. I'll have to look into that and see. That much went on with that Amber Heard, Johnny Depp. That's why I'm even here in the first place. But, you've got Megan in... The thing is with Megan and Jada, their men are out here sort of defending them. Like that speech with Will Smith, where she's like the bestest friend he's ever had and he's always going to have her back, and just people look at him and think, what?
And the thing is that all his story with Tupac is all fiction. You know that. Tupac never proposed to her. They were not on speaking terms for about a year prior to his death. He was actually completely in love with Jacquetta Jones. I don't know how to pronounce her name, which is I think Quincy Jones' daughter. And he was engaged and married a woman that while he was in jail, that later on, he divorced her. But Jada and him were not on speaking terms a whole year prior to his death. She was no longer around, yet she makes it sound like she was the only woman on earth for that man. Why are these women such liars?
Oh, God, it's just narcissism. Someone's just said the men have been brainwashed, and you can't argue with that. It looks like it, doesn't it? When you've got your daughter writing letters to your ex-partner Tupac when she's about 4 or 5, saying, please come back, mommy, make mommy happy again so we can all live together. This is Will Smith's daughter. Like, what levels of nasty is that? And she's posting that on social media, and to have him stand there on a stage, he's long gone, Will Smith, and it's a shame. Like, he wasted all his life for an Oscar. And
go ahead.
Then all his life for an Oscar. Then on the night of that, after her constantly banging on about Tupac, and then she goes and has an entanglement with Augustus, humiliating him in front of the world. Then all of a sudden he implodes on the stage, trying to be a gangster, because Augustus and Tupac have a certain vibe, don't they? Which Will Smith hasn't got, in my opinion.
Well, she wanted. I'm sorry, I'm outside because it is driving me insane. Because the thing is that this is very much like Meghan Markle. They're both liars. They're both liars, and they will use dead people. Tupac, she outed Tupac, calling him bald or having alopecia, something that he didn't want people to know about. It's like they have absolutely no boundaries whatsoever or respect for other people's. Can you imagine if somebody came and said Meghan Markle's woo-hoo smell like God knows what, she would be, oh my God, I was violated, my personal space, and blah, 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 blah.
So the hypocrisy in her, though, I done one the other day, and it's like literally a stitch where she's on a stage giving this speech about equality and how you can be equal to your brother and sister, can be equal, brother and sister, so, wife to his her husband, and so we can no better, no worse, just equal. Then you fast forward to her interview in Australia where she's like, yeah, nobody's asked me, especially being a woman. Right, thought we were equal, Megan. Thought it was no better, no worse, no weaker. We're equal until you need the audience to back you, yeah? Like
no, but I mean, it is something, yeah, like Maureen Eggleston says, we're witnessing insanity on a worldwide stage for these people.
And do you know what? That's why I speak out, because these people claiming this on the worldwide stage and blurring the lines with Amber Heard doing what she did in this whole narrative that she can identify and be whoever she wants to be, even if that's claiming to be a victim, when we can blatantly see she's an abuser. This is damaging the lines of abuse, manipulation, domestic violence, you know. It's in that, when I've sat in a refuge and watched women broken, rocking, because they want to put their children into boarding school so they can go back to this abuser. Like, when you watched the reality of how bad it gets, bars on the windows to stop them jumping out, and you watch these people on the main stage doing that, it incenses me, you know, not only triggering as well to watch this strip back of people. I've watched it, I've lived it, you know. So sorry, rant again.
Can you stop apologizing for speaking? That's why you're here. I don't know if you noticed. That's why you're here, to speak, and we can listen to what you have to say. You know, but like, yeah, like for me, I mean, it is very upsetting when I see, and people tell me, why do you keep talking about it? Because these are abusive people with a huge platform who are allowed to continue abusing others, exploiting very vulnerable individuals, not weak, vulnerable. Because people, when they're vulnerable and desperate, they will cling on to anything, you know.
Yeah.
And you're right. I mean, you saw it growing up. We're gonna go soon because I know it's very late where you are, so I want to thank you for that.
Okay, fine.
You know, and then but I mean, you grew up in a household that was dysfunctional, and you know, and people don't understand that abuse doesn't have to only be physical. I mean, did you say your father used to set your dolls on fire?
Yeah, my earliest memory. This is the thing, you know. The biggest thing, I done a post and someone sort of, a lot of people don't even, the mental abuse is so much worse, you know. People haven't come together with the aftermath because they've still got bruises, physical bruises. It's because this, you know, in this, the fear, you know, my earliest memory, and this is the reality of the aftermath. I always knew it. I always sensed it. I always remembered the fire, but it was never spoken about. Okay, so years, you know, and it just got took over by other traumatic events. Then we left the refuge, and it was only a couple of years ago, after years of not speaking about it, because we're all in silence. We don't want to trigger each other. We don't want to upset each other. And then, you know, it got confirmed to me, yeah, when I was 3 years old, I watched all the toys get set on fire in the lawn. These wasn't nightmares. This was my reality, my core memory. You know, 3 years old, lined up with my brothers and sisters as he chucked all our toys and made us watch as they got set on fire in front of our eyes. You know, and when you live a life where you don't even know if that's reality, you remember it, you remember the tears on the face, but you're that scared to talk because you're scared of upsetting each other, you know, that's trauma. So
But
yeah.
you know,
but these events, it was not like he was pounding us. It's that fear, you know. So then it'd come in and you just be like, sensing the mood.
Yeah, it's easier when they smack you around, you know, you get over that. But when it's, you know, it's like, I much rather he beat the hell out of me than to play these mental games, because you think you're losing your sanity.
Yeah.
And you don't know why you're getting these fears. And like you said, you probably didn't know why you're afraid of certain things until somebody brought you back those memories, you know, and then you understand more. Oh, that's why.
Yeah.
And it's harder to get over, because it's harder to get over something when you're very small.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why, you know, the early years are so important, because you don't have your verbal communications developed, so you soak everything in and you don't know how to express it. So you just soak an environment that you don't know what the environment is, but it damages you or enhances your growth depending on what it is. Because after age 5, you actually have a lot of vocabulary, you're interacting with more people, hopefully. You know, I don't think that's the case for Archie if he exists, because that little boy is completely isolated.
Yeah. Do you know what? If you want to isolate your kids away and you choose that for them, be there with them. Those two are living the high life, aren't they? They're here, there, and everywhere. And that's the saddest thing for me. You chose freedom, Harry, to be this dad to your children. Where are you?
We see that this past 60 days, out of the 60 days, they've been 20 days with their kids, and not consecutively. Like come and go, come and go, come and go. They're taking 16 private planes.
Yeah, he writes in his book about how devastated he was that Charles took him to a Spice Girls gig to meet Jerry and the girls, and how he realised this was business and pleasure. Well, at least he bloody took you.
No, be with the kids, didn't he say that he wanted now he would do with Archie what he was never done with him? I'd go on a bike ride. We never see him bike riding with his kid anywhere.
No.
Not even from the back, because they like to take pictures from the back. You know what I mean?
Oh, that Halloween picture was like Google Street Maps. Oh, God. The angle.
I don't understand why people didn't understand. That's the black bodyguard, the one that was last year that had some issues with the wife for domestic violence. I don't understand why people didn't pick up on it right away. I saw it, and I did it live with Andrew, and immediately I said, Andrew, he goes, oh, he didn't know either, because he doesn't really follow Meghan Markle. I just started following her. And he said, yeah, he had that black bodyguard from Kim Kardashian, and then they let him go because he had some issues with his family. That was the very same day that the picture came out.
Yeah.
So, but it is absolutely, it's absolutely unbelievable. The aftermath. Everybody's living this aftermath of what we're watching, because if you have been abused in some form or in a domestic violent situation, and you see these things play out, for me, I think, am I losing my mind? How can this be allowed to be so publicly? For me, when I saw Will Smith smack Chris Rock, and no consequences, and then Will Smith goes and cries to defend himself. This would be like me apologizing to my ex because his hand hurt after he beat the hell out of me with it. For you, I am sorry that your hand hurts after you beat me with it. Do you want me? Do you want to beat me some more with the other hand? So you know what I mean? It's like we're apologizing to the abusers.
Yeah. No, I know.
Don't you feel like that sometimes?
No, it's absolutely. And that's why so many people came out with the Johnny Depp herd. Jada, people see it, but the people amongst them. I remember Amber Heard. I wrote a letter ages ago when it was the Johnny Depp Amber. It was literally like, like the ACLU and stuff. They still were supporting her, and I read it out on one of my TikToks. I'll have to show it you another time.
Yeah, I saw that. Angelina Jolie went for a walk with her. Remember that? They organized a walk. This is lost. That march walk in the US, they organized a march, a women's march, and Angelina Jolie was there, and for Amber Heard, and they were supporting her.
Yeah, see. But then as in like Angelina Jolie got stuff going on with like Brad and stuff, so not saying like, because I think
Angelina Jolie,
Angelina
Jolie, I don't think something's right with her either, but that's another.
Yeah. Well, that would have to come out in time. Just God.
But yeah, we're gonna leave with this. Millie Feliciano. I don't understand these two people saying that they're great parents, but they're doing totally the contrary. They both had good parents.
Absolutely. And you know what? My mom was always there. She was a staple, but I watched her suffer. I watched her broken, and to have two dads and never just scrape past any little bit of decent and grow up in the trauma I did, to watch what they both had. Thomas Markle, this is not like a dad who's just never been on the scene, who's just popped out and, a weekend dad trying to have his 5 minutes of fame, which they're out there, This is not that. This is a man who's literally brought her up. This
is when it wasn't popular. He was a single father because Doria took off.
Absolutely. And he's had to deal. And I like to strip back and go to the emotional. He's took her through periods. Do you know what I mean? He has done the nitty gritty.
This is an Emmy-winning lighting director, and he would do her plays. Even Thomas Markle Jr. had to go and help him with her plays, in the lighting and setup and stuff like that.
And she has reduced him to nothing. I done a poster once, and it was about him in his career. So great, And you see like him at performances, recitals, during the stages, like vacays. And I can only imagine the frustration in Samantha and Thomas Markle Jr. to watch, no doubt, because they were older, her become the apple of his eye, his main focus, then to watch him literally propel her because he had her later on in life. This is just my opinion from looking on. Then to watch her do all that to him, I bet they must think I don't think so. Like you were the apple of his eye, and look what you've done to him. And now we're here to like, no, that's just my opinion.
Yeah, because I would understand it if they didn't have a loving parents, but they both had loving parents and loving family who supported them and gave them the best of everything.
Yes.
None of them come from trauma. Harry, yeah, his mother died in a car accident. Fine. He had psychologists and everything, but it's not like he was any domestic violence. He was given all the support and love. Everybody was supporting and loving him and was allowing him to get away with a lot because, oh, my mommy died, just like he's doing right now. You want to criticize, oh, my mommy died.
Yeah. And his children right now, like you said, one day, like, their kids are small. Wait till they get older. We all know anyone that's got parents, kids get older. They start to rebel. They start to, test. To grow up knowing, and like I said, what Harry and Meghan have done, they have literally put extra notes and money over their children's head for a photo in doing this. They have, they can't censor their children all their life. It's in print, it's on film. Like, they can't hide this from their kids. And they have been stolen away from two families. There's 3 broken homes right now, and Harry and Meghan are the key things, and their kids are being held away from everything.
4, actually, if you consider the Raglands.
Pardon? Yeah. Where are Doria's family?
Well, actually, it's 5 families, sweetie, because you have Harry's both sides and Meghan both sides, and then Meghan and Harry's children, if they exist. So you have victims all around.
Yeah.
So, I mean, anyways, I'm going to let you go because I know it's very late over there. Thanks for joining me.
Yes.
I will see you Friday.
Yes.
If you want to do a live, we can come on your channel.
Yes.
But I'm going to post another case where I'll send you the link because I found this case that's very great. And I thought we could talk about it more instead of Harry and Meghan.
Okay.
It is very, very heartbreaking. But if you have any other cases that you'd like us to talk, please, people, go and sign up and subscribe and view Tina's channel on YouTube. Support and love her like that. Make her channel grow. Yes, and go watch her TikTok, but go subscribe to her YouTube channel. And she's learning to do the YouTube videos, and she's doing
learning. I am learning.
Fantastic work. You're doing fantastic work, sweetie. You're amazing. Have you seen my videos? I mean, I wish I'd had your thing, But thanks for being here, and I'll see you on Friday. You know that we will do the Friday thing with Ron Atwood's channel.
When I get home from work, I'll pop on at the end.
But let me know if you want us to come and do a live in your channel or anything that you need. We'll get you going, okay, sweetie?
Okay,
and go subscribe to Tina's. If I don't see 1,000 subscribers, I'm gonna be upset with you guys.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye,
all. Bye.
Bye.
All my opinions, may I add?
Of course.
Bye.
Thanks for coming, sweetie.
Bye.
Well, beautiful people, thank you for watching. I'm sorry I look like crap, but I've been at the school all day. We've lost 2 walls. I gotta share this story. We were taking sand from the ocean because we need to put burlap sacks, I think that you call it, and fill them with sand to stop the construction from falling apart because it's a little bit on top of the hill. And a guy comes up to me and says, "You can't take sand from the ocean." I'm like, "What?" Yes, I can. So for now, we have a wall filled with sacks of sand. So hopefully it'll hold. Thank you very much for the super chat, the PayPal donations. And thank you for everything. Please go view and watch the 2 videos I posted today because they're really good. And thanks always for watching. And go show Tina some love and subscribe to her channel, beautiful people. Thank you very much and have a great day, guys.